Shafting is the most profitable endgame mining money-making method, alongside with Jasper mining, making insane rates up to 100 million coins an hour if you utilize it correctly. So in today's video, I'm gonna show you how to efficiently max out your Glacite powder at rates of 2 million an hour. To start out is your gear. You just want some type of Devon armor, and the amber slots are definitely not fully required. If anything, I would suggest just running flawless amber until you can afford the perfects, because they're just not that much more useful. Then for equipment, something highly suggested is Dwarven hand warmers for the cold resistance, and then for the rest of it, just do some type of titanium equipment. And if you have more money, of course, upgrade to the pendant. Next, for a drill, you pretty much need a 655 or a Devon's drill with as many gemstone slots as possible with flow state 3 on it, and alongside that you can get paleontologist so you can make more money from the suspicious scraps. And having a perfect jade slot in the 5th slot is definitely more profitable, since you won't be mining many gemstones while getting powder. Then a second drill with breaking power 9 is required, so you can use it to pick obulus Glacite, which is a major portion of this. You could just use a Jasper drill with the blue cheese goblin omelet, and you definitely want a better fuel tank so you have less pickaxe ability cooldowns. On your main drill, you want to have a spicy goblin omelet because it's 20% more powder. You can also do this on an alternate drill and kind of swap to it whenever, but I just suggest having it on your main drill, as 50 fortune that you're sacrificing for it isn't that serious. A good drill engine is really important. I suggest either a sapphire or amber, and then again some type of fuel tank. This isn't as required, as it's just for your fuel, not the pickaxe ability cooldown. Speaking about the pickaxe ability cooldown, pick obulus is just the most crucial thing about this entire strategy, where you pick obulus Glacite like this, allowing for lots of blocks broken and spawning mineshafts really quickly. And a lot of your powder is going to come from mineshafts, so you need to make sure you're taking advantage of it as much as possible. There's lots of different ways to go about this. I suggest having maxed out mithril and gemstone powder, which would be about 8.5 million mithril if you aren't going to get titanium and sanium, which means you're going to be doing one of the methods I'm showing. And then maxed out gemstone powder is pretty much required. If you don't have it, don't do this. So first you want to max out these first 3 perks: efficient miner, mining fortune, and mining speed. And then titanium and sanium being maxed out is helpful if you're doing a different method. Seasoned mineman is definitely helpful, since you're going to be getting a lot of mining XP, so you can level up EXP shared pets really quick. Your core of the mountain is almost necessary to have maxed out, as it's going to give you 10% more mineshafts alongside with a lot of tokens, so you can get a similar HOTM tree to mine. Then if your magical power is low and you don't have a lot of strength and crit damage to kill the mobs in the Glacite tunnels, then getting lonesome miner maxed out can easily help you one-tap them. Then for your gemstone powder stuff, just get fortunate minemen maxed out, powder buff, and speedy minemen. This in total will cost you about 11 million powder. Then at HOTM 10, try to copy a HOTM tree similar to mine. Make sure you do 80% of every single perk other than steady hand, because it costs double the price to get that last 20%. So for example, I have 80% of eager adventure, 80% of this, which is 40 out of 50, and then 40 out of 50 on this too, as it would cost me 600k to get it to 80 out of 100, and then 1.2 mil to get 100 out of 100. And then try to do this to as many perks as you can, as they are all very beneficial. Some perks you don't need are Vanguard Seeker, Crystalline, and Rags to Riches and Eager Adventure, but something highly recommended is Surveyor, as it's going to give you more mineshafts, Mineshaft Mayhem so you get more suspicious scraps, Warm Heart so you don't need to refresh your heat as much, and then Strong Arm and Metalhead just for more money and faster blocks broken. You don't need HOTM 10 to actually start this, and if anything you can start it at HOTM 8 or HOTM 9 if you want to get Metalhead and these mining speed bonuses, or more Heart of the Mountains. One last thing I forgot to mention is you can craft a Dwarven base camp travel scroll, and this thing's super helpful, as you can just do /warp base and spawn here, which not only eliminates your cold but also just kind of puts you at a center spot to be able to get around. This is definitely suggested, and if you don't have this, you should probably buy it right now. It's only about 4 million coins. Now for some useful attributes you can use: the miner zombie for 30 mining speed, the cavern wisdom for more mining wisdom, the stalagmite shard is going to give you 10% more Glacite powder, the iguana is going to add a 20% bonus to that Glacite powder, so also getting this can help. But that is about it for the attributes in specific. Now actually doing this method is a little bit difficult, so you guys got to focus up. Now to spawn the mine shafts using the tungsten or umber route, most people suggest tungsten, as there's set waypoints for doing it, but you could definitely do both, as umber is starting to have a little bit more value now. Most people have routes, but I actually don't use one, as I don't find it as necessary. Instead, I just have waypoints of spots where I can throw my pickobuluses, and then I just kind of run throughout and find umber and mine it. All you need to do is make sure you're throwing your pickobuluses efficiently, then in between your cooldowns, mine umber as much as possible, and then just rinse and repeat this process until you spawn mine shafts. And once my pickobulus is ready, I'll just make my way over to a pickobulus spot and throw it, and then go back to umber, or tungsten of course. And then once you find a mineshaft, obviously enter it. Then you can just press tab to check what your corpses are. You'll have bare minimum 2 corpses, and the main thing you're looking for is lapis corpses. I'll talk more about umber and tungsten and vanguards later. Then you just need to run around and check where the corpse is. They all spawn in designated spots, so you can always remember where these spots are to check them to find where the corpse is a little bit quicker. Once you find the corpse, make sure you're holding out your spicy goblin omelet drill. You have your Glacite golem on, and then of course collect the corpse. The Glacite powder, it says in the chat, will get multiplied by the Glacite powder it says in your HOTM tree. I would get 90% additive percent more of 2.9k Glacite powder, which would be about 5,500 Glacite powder from one corpse. And then on top of that, if you use your ascension rope to leave the mineshaft quicker instead of having to climb up the ladder, you get 1,360 powder. There's a way this is calculated based off of cold and suspicious scraps found. I'm 90% sure that powder from leaving a mineshaft doesn't actually get multiplied, but it might just be a glitch right now. Also, make sure you're trying to do as many commissions as possible. Don't go out of your way to do them, but if you have a Maniac Miner Slayer commission, go ahead and max it out while you're in a mineshaft. And if you have a Frozen Corpse commission, when that's done, make sure you're claiming those because it will give you a little bit more Glacite powder. Next is Mithril. To do Mithril, you just want to mine normal Mithril and then mine as much titanium as possible, as this is the main benefactor. Doing this, you can also have dimensional in your gear, which will sacrifice some of your efficiency and rates, while also giving you a lot of mithril powder, so you don't need to actually sit and grind specifically mithril powder. And doing this is going to give you more progress towards hitting and spawning your mineshaft way faster than umber, but obviously mithril doesn't have much value in the bazaar, so you're not going to be making a lot of money doing it like this. And then of course, regardless of what you're doing, you want to make sure you pick obvious and Glacite spots. Next, if you want to really maximize how many mineshafts you're getting, so you can open a lot of lapis corpse, as that's where a large amount of your powder actually comes from, you can mineshaft in parties, and then in these parties, whenever somebody else gets a mineshaft, you can warp them in and then open each other's lapis corpse. Then talking about tungsten and umber corpse, as you can see, this mineshaft has primarily tungsten and umber. These give lots of more Glacite powder, and if you really want to get Glacite powder quickly at the sacrifice of money, you can open these. These corpse are notoriously bad and you're never going to really consistently profit you, as they cost a lot and usually have no reward, with the benefit of lots of Glacite powder. Then moving on to vanguard corpses, as you can see, they have the chance of being profitable, as I myself have dropped a shattered locket, but the chances of actually profiting on vanguard corpses are also super low, and I suggest not opening them. But again, if you have the money, go ahead and open those for a large boost in Glacite powder. Just keep in mind, you might just be losing absolutely insane amounts of money per hour. Then going over the mods, first you can use sky tills for waypoints. You can get my waypoints I have for the Picabio spots by pressing share and pressing import from clipboard, and you'll get waypoints like this that tell you where to stand and where to throw your Picabioses. Then if you want a notification for your Picabios similar to this, you go into Sky Tills and go to edit notifications, and in my Discord server you can find the copy paste for this and also a Reddit link to where somebody explains how to do this. Then for a texture pack, I also have this in my Discord server that makes the snow into grass and the walls into a more orange temperature shade. And I also have a progress break texture pack that makes the progress bar so you can ping glide a little bit easier. Next, I use Sky Haney for a couple things like the Glacite Mines waypoints, the Lapis locators and Lapis waypoints, and trackers. That is all for the mods. Lastly, I'm going to go over some alternative ways to get Glacite powder. First, you can do the fossil excavator for Glacite powder, as I have done this thing for over 350 times and I've gotten a good bit of Glacite powder. It's definitely nothing to scoff at, but it won't really get you to that max out Glacite powder. It will probably cost you around 1 billion or 2 billion coins to max out your Glacite powder doing this, and it's definitely not worth it. And then last but not least is 2 ways of commissions. Number 1 is you can use the daily powder perk and the daily grind perk, and then during a 2x powder event, it can actually apply to this on your Glacite powder, and then you can hold out your drill and talk to this guy and then multiply it. As you can see, I just got about 20k powder from just that, and then you can do it to all 4 of your commissions, and your daily bonus of course accumulates a lot of Glacite powder. So every single day you can claim a large amount of Glacite powder till you get maxed out. Then last but not least is you can just do solely commissions. The benefit of this is you can level up pets like G-Dragons and EXP share G-Dragons. This is going to make you pretty mediocre money, but it will give you so much pet XP that it's actually a worthy money making method, and it will actually give you a lot of Glacite powder. So if you're an Iron Man like me, you can have a load of pets that are kind of low level and you can't really use, but as you go around and do your commissions, not only are you getting Glacite powder, but you're also leveling up a bunch of your pets to level 100. And I'll probably make a guide on this exclusively on leveling pets with commissions, so that's definitely a time for another video. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. That's the end of this trilogy of how to get powder. Every single powder in the game I have made a video on now, so if you guys needed mithril powder or Glacite powder, go ahead and check my other videos out. Thank you guys for watching.